Welcome back to our channel. Today I'll show you a 2022 American fantasy adventure film titled Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore is a direct sequel to Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, and the third installment of the film series based on Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, one of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter companion books, and the 11th film set in the Wizarding world. The plot revolves around the infamous Professor Albus Dumbledore, who's well aware that the formidable Dark Wizard, Gellert Grindelwald, is plotting to take over the Wizarding world. He entrusts magizoologist Newt Scamander to lead an adventurous band of wizards, witches, and one courageous Muggle baker on a risky expedition, where they face old and new animals and struggle with Grindelwald's expanding legion of followers. But with the stakes so high, how long can Dumbledore stand by? Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The movie opens on a train. Albus Dumbledore takes a train to meet Grindelwald in a Muggle restaurant. As Dumbledore contemplates for a second, Grindelwald shows up. It's been a while since Dumbledore and Grindelwald, who once used to be more than friends, finally meet up. Due to their incredible passion in the past, Dumbledore and Grindelwald made a blood pact to protect each other and never to betray. However, now the two have turned into enemies and are suffering with the pact still in place. Dumbledore tells that once he was alongside Grindelwald's crazy ideas because he was in love with him and not that he agreed with the plans Grindelwald made. Dumbledore tries to stop the madness, but Grindelwald tells Dumbledore to stay out of his way and makes it clear that he intends to destroy the non-magical world with or without Albus's assistance. Grindelwald thinks of the Muggles or humans as animals and reminds Dumbledore if their lives are worth turning his back on his own kind. After they argue about their past, how their goals used to be in alignment, and the blood pact between them, the two go their separate ways. Meanwhile, in China, Newton Scamander, and magizoologist helps a Killin, a magical creature with the ability to see one's soul as well as the future, give birth in the Quailin jungles at night. As he calms the creature down and helps its newborn, Newton brings out his briefcase to safely hide the creature. However, several of Grindelwald's followers, commanded by Credence Barebone, assault and overpower Newt, kill the mother, and attempt to take the child. Newton tries to run away with the baby Killin, but he falls in the water and faints. After waking up, he returns to the mother Killin and finds her lifeless. They are unaware that the Killin has given birth to twins, and after waking up, Newt is able to save the younger of the two. When the Killin is Normangard refuses to bow to Grindelwald, he kills it to use its precognitive powers. He witnessed Albus demonstrating the blood covenant to Theseus and Newt in the Hogshead Inn in the dead Killin's blood reflection. To find out the best way to stop Grindelwald, Newt and Theseus go to the Hogshead Inn and interrogate Dumbledore. Dumbledore says that he has plans to beat Grindelwald and stop him from ripping the world apart with hatred, but they must believe him because he's still unable to break the blood troth that prohibits him from fighting Grindelwald. Eulalie Hicks recruits Jacob Kowalski, who's sad when Queenie Goldstein abandons him and his Kowalski quality baked goods in the midst of the Great Depression, and the first wants nothing further to do with the Wizarding world but finally agrees to assist. On the Great Wizarding Express bound for Berlin, Newt, Theseus, Bunty Broadacre, and Yusuf Kama welcome the two, and Newt discloses that they will divide up and play different roles in order to counter Grindelwald's future seeing skills. As they go off to fulfill their responsibilities, he gives Theseus a tie with a big golden pin, Jacob a coreless wand, and Bunty instructions that'll burn when she sees him. Bunty has half a dozen duplicates of Newton Scamander's bag made, while the others travel to Berlin to meet the German Ministry of Magic. For political reasons, Anton Vogel, the supreme Magwump and minister, refuses to assist Newt and the others in stopping Grindelwald, and they can only watch as Grindelwald is acquitted of all charges by the International Confederation of Wizards and can run for the position of the next Supreme Mugwump, with Theseus captured. When he sees Dumbledore again, he tells Newt where Theseus is imprisoned and assigns Eulalie and Jacob to thwart assassination attempts against Grindelwald's opponents. Grindelwald has a vision of Yusuf Kama traveling to Normangard and Dumbledore traveling to Bhutan to fight him, with Vinda watching. After Grindelwald erases Yusuf's memories of Lita's murder, Yusuf joins Normangard Castle and is immediately installed as a spy in Grindelwald's inner circle. Dumbledore goes across Berlin, followed by Credence, who has been commanded by Grindelwald to assassinate Dumbledore. Dumbledore confronts Credence after discovering his spy, and they fight owing to Credence's rage at being abandoned. After a long battle, Dumbledore overcomes Credence, revealing that he's not Albus's brother, but rather his nephew as Aberforth's son. Meanwhile in Berlin, Anton Vogel defends his stance on Grindelwald, running as a candidate for the next Supreme Mugwump to other high-profile ICW members. Grindelwald is on the same street driving a car with Vinda. He sees a vision of Jacob Kowalski pulling out his Corliss wand to threaten him. Jacob and Eulalie are able to prevent the assassination of Vicentia Santos, but Jacob's reckless face-off with Grindelwald allows Grindelwald to frame him for attempting to kill Grindelwald, and he and Lolly barely escape, giving Grindelwald an incentive to turn the wizarding world against the Muggle world. Queenie helps them escape by hurling a chair at Helmut and his minions, distracting them and giving Jacob more time to flee. The group reunites at Hogwarts and dines at the Hog's Head. As Grindelwald uses necromancy to zombify the Killin he killed, having a vision of another Killin and becoming enraged at Credence, Dumbledore confronts his brother about his responsibilities to Credence, and Newt learns the truth about Albus's past as Credence contacts them via mirror, asking them to return home. With Credence's assistance, Albus devises a plan to save everyone, and the next day, he informs the others that they must travel to Bhutan to stop Grindelwald since the election would be conducted there. They vanquish all of Grindelwald's pupils while traveling to Bhutan with a gadget supplied by the Room of Requirement, with Yusuf exposing his real loyalties in the process. Grindelwald announces himself as the Supreme Mugwump using the zombified Killin and promptly launches war on the Muggles, torturing Jacob for attempting to murder him. Credence, Queenie, and Newt, on the other hand, are able to expose him, and Bunty reveals the actual Killin. Vicentia is chosen when Dumbledore declines to be the next Supreme Mugwump. After his schemes are foiled, Grindelwald becomes enraged and attempts to kill Credence, but Albus and Aberforth save him. The blood contract ultimately breaks because Dumbledore was defending Credence rather than assaulting Grindelwald throughout the struggle, and Dumbledore instantly fights Grindelwald. The heated struggle concludes with their wands at each other's heads and their heads on each other's hearts, resulting in a stalemate with Grindelwald retreating. As the Phoenix mournfully follows them, the dying Credence is escorted away by his father. Jacob and Queenie marry in the aftermath of the election, with the majority of the gang and Tina in attendance. Dumbledore looks on as Newt thanks him for everything before going away alone.